Posted by you/safe_translator 4967. AITA for moving out while my parents are on vacation. I, F20, have 3 siblings who live at home. M22, M15, M12. My older brother does not work and does not go to school. My middle and youngest brothers are in middle and high school. I have been taking care of them for about 6 years now. My parents both work. I am the only one who cleans, and makes food, and takes care of the dogs. I have access to a car that I share with my brother, but he takes it to go see his friends and hook up with Tinder randos. So, I have had to bring home groceries on the bus, because oh yeah, I also do the grocery shopping. I have tried talking to my parents about it, but they say that my brother is finding himself and the younger ones have to concentrate on school. I am in my 3rd year of college, and it is wrecking me. My boyfriend, 24, has talked to his parents, and they are letting me move into the apartment over their garage. He will be paying the rent for the apartment. He lives at home rent-free, but he also graduated and has a great job, so we talked about it, and it is fair. We are committed to each other, but we are way too young to think about moving in together or getting married. I am not saying that this is too young for anyone else. We just know what we want in life, and until I get my nursing degree and get a job, we aren't ready. My parents went away this weekend for NASCAR in Vegas. It is their 3rd vacation this year. I do not begrudge them their holidays, they both work hard, but I am tired of being an unpaid nanny/dog sitter. So, I grabbed my laptop, clothes, and a few other things that I have been gifted. I waited for my older brother to get home, and I left. I told him I was going out for milk, but my boyfriend was waiting in the car around the corner. He started texting me about 20 minutes later saying he needed the car. I did not take the car. I left all the keys on the counter, even my house keys. My grandparents pay for my education, so there is literally nothing my parents can hold over me. I let him know I wasn't coming back, and I let my parents know after the last race that I had left him in charge of the younger kids and bailed. They drove straight home instead of spending the night partying and driving home today. Everyone is mad at me for being so immature and thoughtless. I just don't care anymore. I talked to my grandfather and he says that I am right and my brothers can look after themselves. My mom keeps calling and complaining that the house is a mess. I was only gone for 9 hours before they got home, but my brothers are pigs. My older brother says I'm an asshole because my parents are making him do everything that I used to do. I cannot find it in myself to give a shit. AITA, now on to some comments. Posted by J Strangways. NTA, you keep doing and being who you are, and you'll always be a fantastic person. I'm sorry for the attitudes of your parents and brothers. Maybe they'll change, maybe they won't, but by not being there they will have to face up to all you did around the house and for them. I'm sure you'll find that almost everyone reading your post will be mentally sending hugs and support to you. That blew up. Every single one of these upvotes is the love and support Reddit has for you. Be well. OP responded with, I feel bad for having to sneak out. I feel like I did something wrong. Loves Books Docs responded with, don't you dare feel bad even for a day for them. They had it coming. They made you an unpaid maid in their house. Just be with the people like your BF who actually care about you. Hard NTA. Posted by Dina Felice. To your brother, let me get this straight, you never stood up for me when I was living there, you never helped me with all of the things our parents expected me to do, and you regularly monopolized the car, so I had to carry groceries home on public transportation. Why do you expect me to do more for you than you did for me? Especially when I was stuck in that position for years, and you've only been in that role for about a week? To your mother, Mom, I tried to talk to you for years about the unfair burden you were placing on me to clean up after my brothers, not to mention all the other chores you expected me and only me to do. You had opportunity after opportunity to come to a compromise. So now, it's yours and Dad's problem, not mine. I now consider the topic closed. So, is there something else you would like to talk about? Otherwise, I'll say goodbye for now. And if she continues trying to complain, say goodbye and hang up. Don't stay on the line letting her continue to berate you. NTA. And good for you for getting out of that situation. Eclectic Vittles responded with, great comment, NTA totally. Unfortunately, your parents are filth. They are selfish, neglectful, abusive, and uncaring. Not only can't they parent their own sons, but the younger ones must also definitely feel this, and the older one is a failure to launch. But they completely abused and neglected you. To put that all on you is already terrible, you were only 14 years old. Of course, you can help, and you did. But then they didn't even bother to care about spreading the burden or letting you use the freaking car for their groceries? Yet they can afford to go to Vegas 3 times a year? Your parents are scum, and you had to sneak out because they had you in prison. You didn't leave or sneak out, you escaped. Honestly, you did everyone a favor. Your older brother can see now how you were treated. And maybe he will be more motivated to be responsible and move on with his own life, and he can learn some housekeeping skills. I don't know about your younger brothers, and why your mother enables them and expects so little from them, but maybe that will change. In terms of your parents, I would never speak to them again. It would be a very long time. And I would make them give you money to compensate you for all of your slave labor, because that's what it was. If they treated a stranger like they treated you, they would go to jail. And I would demand additional money for therapy, and if you're still on their health plan and it's decent, I would use it. You were parentified, and they treated you like you didn't matter for anything other than what you could do for them. They took you for granted, they did not express appreciation, they did not even give you the tools you needed to succeed in these you-only tasks. Thankfully you have your boyfriend, and normally I would think the age gap is too much, but you are probably much more mature than your chronological age, and he sounds like a very caring and loving person. Take care of yourself and do not feel guilt. And if you want to do anything, you can send a message to your younger brother is that you love them and care about them, but you had to care about yourself to be they weren't expecting anyone else to help and it was killing you. Sending love. Now on to the last story. Posted by you/Ordos Deluxe. AITA for leaving my sick wife to deal with 2 toddlers on her own? I'd like to give a little bit of background first. I am 36, and my wife, F35, have a 3-year-old daughter. I have long-standing issues with my wife Sil, because I think that my wife constantly panders to her, and caters to her every whim, often at the expense of me and my daughter. Recently we had a huge fight about her saying something offensive to me in a public setting in defense of Sil, at our daughter's expense, and up until this point she has tried to do better. We've both been floored with flu for the past 10 days or so, negative COVID tests. She seems to have had it slightly worse than me, so I've been tagged in to do all chores, childcare and cooking while she's tried to get as much rest as possible. This has now trickled into a week I booked off work on holiday, which doesn't bother me in itself, because I'd rather make sure they were both okay. I am, however, starting to feel really run down myself now. I'm tired, I've had limited opportunity to rest and catch up on sleep, and I'm sore. Today my wife woke up at around 9:15 a.m. I'd been up since 6:30 a.m. with daughter, and said she was feeling a bit better. I said that's great, and maybe she could hold the fort while I went for a nap. She said that what she was actually thinking was inviting Sil's youngest round for a playdate, to keep our daughter occupied. For reference, she is 3. This isn't an uncommon thing to happen. Sil often brings her kids to us, and for reasons I still don't understand, our daughter is never invited to spend an afternoon with them in their house. I said that I really wasn't feeling up to it today. My wife said that I wouldn't have to do anything to entertain them, to which I was skeptical about, so I agreed. So about 15 minutes after she arrives, I'm asked to get them drinks and snacks, and then play games and occupy them. Now, I'm aware that I'd have needed to do this for my own daughter, but going from 1 to 2 toddlers is such a huge leap in terms of the demand on your time and energy. Add this to the fact that I was feeling lousy, and it just wasn't a good mix. I'm off work this week, and on top of my illness, I didn't sign up for extra childcare duties. After about 2 hours, I told my wife that I was going up to my mom's house to get some sleep. The whole way up, she was phoning and texting me, absolutely furious that I'd left her to deal with it. I'm literally lying in my mom's spare bed writing this now, but my brain is too wired to sleep. AITA? I know it's crappy leaving her while she's sick to deal with 2 toddlers, but after so long holding the ball, I've reached my limit. Now on to some comments. Posted by Odd Polyglot. NTA et al. You told her you needed rest and she decided to have a guest over? You should have just gone to take a nap as soon as the other kid arrived. OP responded with, God, I wish I had done this, right as Sil walked in. Crystals 2000 responded with, NTA. Text your wife, I gave you time to rest and heal, but you aren't giving me the time to do the same. I've also made it very clear to you that you often putting blank's needs ahead of my needs, and the needs of our daughter, and that needs to stop. What's more, you specifically told me if you had blank over today, I would not need to help and could relax, and yet caring for our daughter and blank is exactly what I spent the last 2 hours doing. It's a sad thing I have to leave my home to get sleep and rest while sick. Stop texting and calling me and trying to guilt trip me. Take this time to reflect. Things need to change around our home. From this point forward, I will do nothing to help with blank until you start putting down reasonable boundaries. And I will not put myself last in our household. Posted by 3XL Duck. NTA. Why is your wife making playdates when you're both still over the flu? Bad judgment there. As your spouse, she should have been more interested in you getting some rest and feeling energetic before arranging any playdates. She even gave you permission to disengage, but then asks you to come wait on them. She should have stuck to what she told you and taken care of them herself. Tostabricus responded with, "It seems Op's wife has a bigger attachment, no relationship because this isn't a two-way street, to her sister-in-law than her own husband. NTA. I don't know what is happening and why she has a chronical need to put her sister and niece on first place instead of her own family. OP, go for couples counseling. Her Sil seems to never return the favor and your wife is a doormat hoping for something Sil will never give her. Whatever it is she desperately wants." Posted by Adam Weirdbeard. NTA. Read the previous post about the Sil situation and read up briefly about Scottish divorce law. No contest divorce is, in my opinion, a way better system, but I think you're well into unreasonable behavior territory. Even if her explanation of why is completely honest, it's an admission of outside loyalties undermining the marital relationship. Personally, I think she is at least emotionally cheating on you with her. Claiming it's all to prevent some kind of potential emotional blackmail situation with Sil just doesn't pass the smell test in context of her attitude towards you. Consistently prioritizing the needs of someone external to the marital household over those of the spouse should constitute unreasonable behavior. The way I read it, unreasonableness isn't an objective test about the behavior but also about how you both react the behavior/situation. For example, here disregarding the condition on which you agreed to an event is more important than you missing a nap one time because it's part of a pattern of disregard, not of nap deprivation. She broke a promise to you for Sil's benefit and blamed you for being unhappy with her actions. Solicitor was right to advise some hesitation given your passion at the time, but I think you backed off too far. Start keeping a wife/Sil diary. Document every instance of your needs being subordinated to Sil's, immediately after occurrence. A diary full of contemporaneous recollection is actually pretty powerful evidence in what is essentially her word against yours. Talk to the solicitor again when you've got a list of actions that show the trend all documented.